Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened on Friday and where the hell we are today?
Well, I think God made Ezekiel shave his head.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
with a sword.
With a yeah, that's right, with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, that had to suck.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Right.
But then when he divided his hair, then they sprinkled the hair in different places on the little clay model of Jerusalem.
His little dollhouse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they burnt some of them up and set some of them. It was a symbolism. It was symbolizing like what was going to happen to the Israelites, you know.
And then he was allowed to take like 2 or 3 little hairs and sew into his shirt or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
To display that it's the remnant.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, we were playing with hair in the last chapter. So that was Ezekiel Chapter 5.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that today we're getting into
Ezekiel Chapter 6.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie.
Okay, before we get into this episode, I do have a couple things I wanted to cover. I meant to cover these in the intro, but I do want to mention that today, if you're listening to this episode on the day that it comes out, is Monday, which means that tonight we're going to have live episodes, a live episode that will be live on Twitch and on YouTube. The links to those will both be in the show notes, so please check those out and support us over there on those platforms. And also, I wanted to mention that we are doing a bit of a drive for Patreon, where we're trying to get to $400 per month. Currently, we're sitting at about $139 with our Patreon supporters. That money really will help us get a lot of the things that we need to push this podcast forward. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now would be a great time to contribute. We're updating the amount that we have currently on our website at the home on our homepage there. So if you go to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, you'll see the chart that I've got up at the top, and we'll update that daily. So please consider going to our website, clicking there, and then joining as a Patreon supporter. That being said, are you ready to get into the podcast, wife?
I am, husband.
Okay.
All right. So we are hopping into Ezekiel Chapter 6.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Are we gonna like lose any more body parts today? Or is it just hair that we're losing?
I don't think we're losing any parts or hair.
Okay.
From what I saw, God's just giving them what for.
Got it.
So
okay.
I think that's what we're in store for.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds normal.
Right. The word of the Lord came to me. Okay. Me, Ezekiel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quote. So now he's telling us what God said.
Sure.
Son of man, you mere fucking human. Yeah. Set your face against the mountains of Israel. So look that direction.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Prophecy against them and say, you mountains of Israel, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to the mountains and hills, to the ravines and valleys. I'm about to bring a sword against you, and I will destroy your high places.
I was about to ask, actually. I feel like when they're referring to, obviously they kind of alluded to it there, but like when they mention the mountains and the hills and the ravines, these are places where they kind of alluded to throughout the Bible that bad shit was happening. Like they've got their pagan worship. Yeah.
Yep. And their altars to other gods and their idol statues and their child sacrifice and their sex practices and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in order to not be bad, apparently you just have to stay in Jerusalem all the time.
And don't go into
any ravines or mountains or hills.
Right. Exactly.
If it's flat ground, you might be okay, but be really careful it doesn't get anything but flat.
Or be an atheist and go wherever the fuck you want and not worry about it. I mean, there's that too.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So God is still talking.
Yeah.
Your altars will be demolished and your incense altars will be smashed.
I hate it when people demolish my incense holders.
Me too.
That's dumb. Why do they do that shit?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? You don't like the smell of incense.
I don't. I fucking hate it.
I know, and that makes me so sad because I fucking love it.
Yeah. But, you know, it's funny. Like, okay, so incense holders, to me, growing up, right, when I was younger, they seemed very new age and very...
hooey.
Yeah, but, like, there was this connotation with them that kind of seemed almost, like, anti-religious. And I never really it was a counterculture thing to have incense when I was younger. It felt like it felt that way. Like it was very the drug culture had.
I was
incense,
gonna say, like, I always thought of it as trying to disguise the scent of weed.
Yeah. So I mean, I just wonder if that's partly because
where that idea is in your head from.
Well, no, I wonder if there was actually. I don't know this because I don't know how people felt about it back then exactly, but I wonder if there was a bad connotation with regard to incense.
Oh, I'm sure.
Somewhat because of religious reasons.
I'm sure.
So I don't know that for sure. I'm just curious. Like it's a curiosity that I would have.
It sounds like there would be.
Right. It sounds like there could be. Yeah.
So he's saying, I'm going to smash your shit and I'm going to demolish your other shit.
Yeah.
And I will slay your people in front of your idols.
Oh, okay.
Your little statues there, they're going to watch me kill you. I will lay the dead bodies of the Israelites in front of their idols, and I will scatter your bones around your altars.
Wow.
That's not very Christian of you.
I mean, to be fair, he's not Christian yet.
I know, but it's not very nice.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to murder people.
You would think, but
I mean, it's in the Ten
I'm gathering that this is just a normal, like, everyday occurrence here in the Bible.
Well, to be fair, too, this already happened. Like, we already read about, like, this is before the final fall of Jerusalem.
Sure.
So, like,
sure.
We already know.
But I mean, even if you take out the idea of the fall of Jerusalem, like this is a thing that has happened to the Israelites and their enemies over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Like it's just God kills people like all the fucking time.
I think we talk about this like every single episode now.
No,
like there go God on a murder spree again.
Totally. Yeah.
Wherever you live, the towns will be laid. I thought he was going to like go into, I will find you. Wherever you live, the towns will be laid waste and the high places demolished so that your altars will be laid waste and devastated. Your idols smashed and ruined. Your incense altars broken down. And now I'm just repeating myself.
Yeah.
And what you have made wiped out. Okay, that's new.
Yeah.
What you made wiped out.
Sure.
I mean, in this chapter.
Right.
He used the word smashed and demolished too many times.
He really did.
And he was like, I'm going to fuck up your incense. And then I'm going to fuck up your incense. Guess what? I'm fucking up your incense.
But I do have to mention this too. But like, okay, so for chapter 1 and 2, there was definitely a different tone with those chapters than there is in these. And I know we talked a little bit in our Q&A about the time frame in which these were written. These feel much more in line with like what was written during Jeremiah's time. Ish.
Well, here's the difference too. The first 2 chapters were first person. Like Jeremiah was saying, I saw this and I saw that and this happened to me and what?
Yeah.
And in these chapters, he's like, here's some quoting God. I'm not even in this chapter. I'm just telling you what he said.
Right.
So,
that's
you
true.
know, first person versus third person is a thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so God is still talking.
Okay.
Your people will fall slain among you, and you will know that I am the Lord. And this is the first time that we hear him say that, I am the Lord. You will know that I am the Lord.
Right.
But he's going to say it a whole fuck ton more.
I feel like, I don't know what chapter it's in, but one of my favorite movies, Pulp Fiction, there's a part in there where, it's been too long since I've seen it, but they quote, I think it's from Ezekiel, and then he's like getting ready to shoot somebody. He's like, and you will know my name is the Lord. And that's part of the...
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and that's part of the quote. So I got to look that up, find out what chapter that's in.
Yeah.
So,
And include that in.
Yeah, I'll have to mention
notes.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so God is still talking. But guess what?
What?
What does God always say? But smiley face. Guess what I'm gonna do?
You're gonna redeem people?
Yeah, I'm gonna spare some.
Okay.
For some of you will escape the sword when you are scattered among the lands and nations. Because I'm gonna scatter you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck your shit up.
And he can't even kill all their enemies when he says he's going to. So, I mean, what makes us think that he would be able to kill all the Israelites?
Right?
Yeah.
Then, in the nations where they have been carried captive, those who escape will remember me. Yay! I'm the best.
Sadly, they did.
Mm-hmm. How I have been grieved by their adulterous hearts, those cheaters. I'm a cuck, I was cuckolded. I married this bitch called Israel, and then they fucked every man in town, and they
had all the idols, and
they did all the phallic symbol-y statues and shit, and I'm brokenhearted.
Yeah.
I'm just a murdery son of a gun.
We should totally feel bad for
poor God.
Never mind. I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
Poor God.
No, because he's a dick.
God is sad.
If I married a dickhead, then I'd probably cheat on him too.
Oh, are you saying I'm not a dickhead?
No, you're not a dickhead.
Oh, thanks. You're not a dickhead either.
Thanks.
Yay, yeah. We're awesome.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, he's like, I've been grieved by their adulterous hearts, which have been turned away from me, and by their eyes, which have lusted after their idols. Wah! I'm God and I'm so sad. They will loathe themselves for the evil they have done and for all the detestable practices. This is like a mom yelling, like a shitty mom yelling after her kid, "You'll be sorry."
Right, yeah. But you know what? The only reason they're going to be sorry is because God's killing them.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, you're not actually sorry. You're sorry that you're getting, like, it's like any other punishment, right? You're sorry you got caught.
It's the song by Beyonce. Don't tell me you're sorry when you're not.
Right.
You're only sorry you got caught. I don't know the words, but,
Sure.
Yeah, that one. That song.
Yeah.
And they will know that I am the Lord.
Well,
that's what they're going to know.
I guess they will.
I did not threaten in vain to bring this calamity on them. I promised them I was going to fuck their shit up, and then I did.
Yeah.
Because I'm awesome.
Right.
And that's how you can love me, because I follow through on my promises to fuck your shit up.
Yeah.
Whee! This is what the sovereign Lord says. Okay?
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Strike your hands together and stamp your feet and cry alas.
Is this like a line dance or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. We're all going to do the Macarena. Because of all the wicked and detestable practices of the people of Israel, for they will fall by the sword, famine, and plague.
Okay.
That sounds opposite of dancing.
Right.
But he wants them to strike their hands together and stamp their feet and cry alas.
Okay. All right. Okay? Yep.
One who is far away will die of the plague, and one who is near will fall by the sword, and anyone who survives and is spared will die of famine.
Okay.
Fuck all y'all.
Yeah.
I can't read because I have dyslexia for reals. So will I pour out my wrath on them. See, God got the wrath.
Yeah.
That sounds like he needs medicine.
I mean,
he has a real wrath on his ass.
He seems to have a temper problem, that's for sure.
And they will know that I am the Lord when their people lie slain among their idols around their altars.
I can tell you right now, I am going to get sick of hearing,
I am the Lord. And they will know that I am the Lord.
And they will know that I am the Lord, yeah.
We know, Dick, we know.
Because it's part of the quote that I like.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not that I like that quote. I like that part in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's the quote, and that's part of that quote. And I'm like, oh, so we're going to hear this all through Ezekiel.
Yeah. And it's going to ruin Pulp Fiction for you.
It might. I mean, at least that quote. Yeah.
I can't with that movie, quite honestly.
No?
Yeah. It's too much.
It's been a long time since I've actually watched it, but
it's too far. It's too many.
I mean, that's kind of what
Quentin Tarantino is renowned for.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, he's like, when their people lie slain among their idols around their altars, on every high hill and on all the mountaintops, under every spreading tree and every leafy oak.
Yeah.
Places where they offered fragrant incense to all their idols.
Yeah.
Those fuckers.
Those
I'm
cheating
gonna
bastards.
kill those sons of bitches.
Yeah.
And I will stretch out my hand against them and make the land a desolate waste from the desert to Diblah, wherever they live.
Because they burned incense.
Then they'll know that I'm the Lord.
Yeah.
The end.
Okay.
I do have a slight note. It's irrelevant.
Sure.
Who really cares?
Okay.
The word Diblah is used here.
Yeah.
And it's like, where's that?
Right.
Who cares anyway?
Well, I mean,
The actual Hebrew text does read Diblah, but it's suspected that somebody transposed some letters that look similar and that it should say Riblah, which is a city in I forget where. Somewhere. Oh, Syria. Sorry, I couldn't find my notes, so I was trying to tell you this from memory.
From memory. That didn't work out.
No, because I have none. I forgot. I don't have any of those things. Right. Yeah. Anyway, it's a city in Syria.
Okay.
And it makes sense geographically because then it's like he's saying from north to south. Remember how they would take the farthest city each direction and use that as a from the furthest north to the furthest south?
Right.
So pretty sure it's Riblah, not Diblah.
Got it.
But like I said.
So that's really kind of funny, actually. There's literally a misspelling in the Bible that has just gone forward. They're just whatever. That's what it said when we got it. So we're going to put it up again. And
even though we're pretty sure it's wrong. Yeah. But we don't know hilarious. For sure, and God is perfect. So, maybe he meant to say Diblah. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a place called Diblah. Sure.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Okay.
I mean, that was a few thousand years ago.
Sounds pretty fucking unlikely to me. But whatever.
I couldn't even tell you. Maybe there was a city named Diblah.
Sure. All right.
But apparently the letters that make those sounds or whatever are very similar and have been transposed often throughout the Bible.
Right.
So,
right.
I mean, but I've pointed out other errors before where word was repeated because it was at the end of the scroll or end of the line. And so then they would start it again at the next line.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
There's errors. There's definitely errors. Fucking errors in the Bible. There's errors
because God did not write this.
Right.
And we aren't perfect. And God's not perfect because he doesn't exist.
Right. So I think, is that all we got for today?
That's all I got for today.
Well, just on the out here, I'm just going to remind everybody one more time that tonight is one of our live episodes that we're doing Mondays and Wednesdays, and actually Tuesdays also.
Well,
Tuesdays is on Discord.
Right. Mondays and Wednesdays are on Twitch and YouTube at 10:30 Eastern.
Yep.
And Tuesday is Discord at 10 p.m. Eastern,
which we love because there'll be a lot more interaction from us in that than the other two. But if you prefer the other platforms, they are there now, and the links are going to be in the show notes here. So definitely check that out. And then don't forget, we have our Patreon fundraiser that we're trying to get going here. We're trying to get our funds up to a $400 per month level so that we can kind of do some of the things that we really need to do to push this podcast forward. So if you have been thinking about becoming a member, now's the time. Head on over. It's you can click on the link right at the top of our webpage at sacrilegiousdiscourse.com and or go to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse.
Yep.
That being said, that was Ezekiel Chapter 6.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that we will be back tomorrow with
Ezekiel Chapter 7.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.